Come on up closer. All right, welcome back to Blackland Prairie Bees. We are inspecting the garden hive. I call it the Yellow Hive. It's my first hive today, and I've got some guests. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yes. Hi, Paul. Hi, all the honeybees. My name is Prakash, and I'm really looking forward to be with the bees and Paul today. And it's a beautiful day. And as part of our presence, we would love to honor the bees and all the beekeepers all over the world. Here we are.
All right, and you want to introduce yourself? You're going to be shy.
It's okay. She's really good. Go.
Okay.
Yeah, say something. You say, just thank the bees and Paul. That's enough.
So what we're going to do today is inspect the hive to see what's there. I'm going to show them a little bit about a Layens hive. They're thinking of having hives in their backyard. And then I'm going to try to fill a couple of nucleus colonies for my queen breeding. All right, so I'm getting my veil zipped up. I'll get my gloves on and we'll get started. Now, I may try to post this. Can you guys just confirm to me that you're her father and that it's okay for her to be on the video?
I'm her father. Yes, it's okay to be on the video.
All right. Hopefully that will satisfy their requirements. I'm not,
Got it.
because I'd like you to capture this moment. Okay, so I previously came up and I gave the bees a little bit of smoke, and that gives them some time. Oh, by the way, you saw a whole lot of bees fly, and there still are a few.
Yes.
When I first came out here,
Yeah.
they were all over. They were flying way up here, and what that was orientation flights. Yeah, watch out for that ant bed.
Yeah.
So what that is brand new bees who've just come out. They've gotten to they came out a few days ago. They've been in the hive, and now they're learning to fly. They take these little short flights. They kind of do a figure eight in front of the entrance, and they'll fly out a little ways, then they'll come back. So they'll fly out and go a little further and come back.
New bees, as in they just the young ones.
Young ones, yeah.
Okay.
So
they like our babies taking the crawl. Crawl, walk, run.
They're learning to find their way back home. All right. So this is a Layens hive, and each of these are frames. This is a divider board, and this is just empty space. The bees can go in here, and you can see some of them have, but they don't do much in here. And this divider board, that kind of tells them this is the end of the space you have to work with. That's to keep them from drawing comb up on the lid. Because if they draw comb up on the lid, then it gets to be a mess. And down in here, I've put one extra frame that I can put on that side if we need it. And the bees down here, they're cleaning up. They're sometimes they're taking out dead bees, or they're trying to deal with small hive beetles. But they're not doing anything. They're in the hot part of the summer.
Carrying something.
Yeah, they'll do that. They'll come out under the bottom and then fly out when this is open. This is the divider board. Okay. They have done quite a bit of building since I was here last.
When was your last visit?
About 2 weeks ago, I think.
A lot of abundant flowers now, and they are, as usual, hard at work.
So let's count our frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got 11 frames. And this is frame 11. And this is comb that they are just beginning to build.
Why are they working together?
They use gravity. So if they're going to join those together, if they hang from each other, that tells them where down is. And so they'll draw these two sections of comb straight to connect them together. Now, because that's the way they figure out how to draw straight down, it's very important in a hive that we have it level. If it's tilted too far,
Yeah.
then their comb won't be straight. Now, anytime they're getting agitated, which they're not right now, but we can just give them a. Oh, my smoker is acting like it doesn't.
And what does this? What exactly is the smoke is the indicator for that?
Well, we know the effect. We
the
can only
queen?
guess about the cause. Nope, no queen. That's a drone. See how it's bigger? That's a boy bee.
Yeah.
Most of the bees in here are girls. But when you see those great big eyes that meet, they're so big they meet in the middle. See, look at this one.
Yeah.
This one has smaller eyes. And the really noisy ones, they're the drones. And you can actually hold one of them and they cannot sting you.
And also the backside is bigger, right?
Yes,
and
yeah.
black.
So this is the drone.
Yeah, that's it, drone. It's black in color at the back. And they're never aggressive.
Yeah. But they sure make a lot of noise when they're flying around you.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they're noisy. All right.
Only because they're bigger.
All right, this is frame 10. And frame 10 has some brood on it. So you see this is brood. That means there are baby bees under that cap. Turn this to the camera for a minute. And you can also see lots of drones over on this side. And the ones that are relatively flat like those, those are worker bees.
Yeah.
These, they're not sticking out as much as they usually do, but they're in drone-sized cells. So I believe those are going to be drones. And you see the little white things in here, they're curved around like a C shape. Those are the baby bees that have just hatched from an egg. What they do is the queen lays an egg and they stay there as eggs for 3 days. On day 4, they hatch out of the
Which
egg.
one? Can you show more closer?
I don't.
Oh, yeah. The white, little sticky.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then they stay as larvae, the little white things, for 6 days. And then they're capped over and they stay there for 12 days. So it takes about 21 days for a worker bee to be ready to go out and work.
Oh, okay.
All right, now I think this came out this direction. What I need to do is put a mark on all of these so that I know which direction we're. So that way I've put the frames back in the way they came out.
Yeah.
I used to number them, but they always end up turned around. So I'm just going to put the mark so I know which way, and I'll scratch that one out since I'm not using that anymore. All right. So the reason I have to, this tool is called a hive tool, and there are many different types of hive tools. The reason I have to use that is because the bees like to stick the frames together with what's called propolis or bee glue. So these bigger cells, those are going to be drones.
Sometimes when we are putting back, looks like some of them.
Yeah, some of them have gotten crushed. And these down here, these are going to be workers.
Oh, this side?
The small size ones.
Oh, small size hive, like the hexagon?
Yeah, the cells. The cells are larger for the drones.
Oh, okay. And where would the queen be?
She could be on any of these frames now. I'm looking for her. She should have a little bit of green paint on her. Up here, you see that liquid?
Yeah.
That's nectar. And the bees, they can put it in, they can draw it out, they can use it to feed baby bees or to eat themselves. And these little yellow or orange patches, those are pollen. You see a lot of pollen down here.
Yeah.
And that's used for feeding babies.
And is that nectar is only used for feeding or also to make honey, right?
Well, if it over the season, they work to dry it out. They'll fan over the top of it. Right now, this honey is largely being used to feed the babies. But later on, they'll put honey, just fill up a frame with just honey. And when they do that, they give it a chance to dry. And when it's dry enough, they'll cap it, and that makes it honey.
And there is no ready honey in this one yet?
No.
Okay.
No, the last frame that they had that was almost all honey, I used that frame to help another hive that was a little short of food for the summer, or for the spring.
I see. How do you know that they would be short of food?
Just looking at how much honey they have.
Just purely based on the quantity and the
Yeah.
number. And it depends on how big the hive is, right?
Yep. How many babies they have.
Yeah.
Oop. That one slip a little bit. So these are larvae.
So is there a season that they make the larva, and rest of the time making honey?
All the time except sometimes in the winter.
I see.
They may go for a short time in the winter. Now, if they're in a northern climate, they'll go for a long time in the winter without raising brood. All right, now I'm going to mark this one.
Okay.
This might be one that I want to take out and put in one of the nucleus.
What's the nucleus?
That's these little hives down here. So I'm just going to mark this as an N for nucleus. And we'll come back to that a little later. The reason I'm not taking it now, I didn't see the queen, but I want to be really, really sure that I don't take that comb or that frame if the queen could be on it. So as soon as I see the queen, I'll come back and get that frame.
This one is so clumsy. It fell on his back.
Yeah, these really are kind of clumsy flyers. All right, so all of that is brood. There's
One
going to
of
be.
them got stuck on the colonies. Its feet got stuck on that and it's trying to fly in.
All right, we've got on this one, we've got some nectar up in this corner, some pollen over there, and lots of brood. See, this one has pollen on its legs.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they collect pollen from flowers and bring it back.
So it has come back to deposit it.
Uh-huh.
How do they
What is
precisely
that?
deposit? Like
What is that?
remove it? Like is another bee
Which
comes
one?
and
This one. It had its head in there.
Oh, it was probably either feeding a baby bee, or it was taking a little drink of nectar, or
so
something
when
like
they
that.
bring the pollen, does another bee help them to dislodge it?
Yeah, they'll actually go to a cell that's open for pollen, and either they or another bee will just get those chunks off, and then there will be another bee that packs it down. So sometimes you'll see just a cell with just some chunks of pollen that aren't packed down tight. The bees just haven't gotten to it yet, but they will. This one has lots and lots and lots of pollen. And some nectar, and some brood. Bees are being very, very calm today.
Yeah, sensing our energy.
Well, a lot of them are probably out gathering from flowers today.
Yeah.
This is another one where the last time I inspected this, so this section had been broken out by accident. And so they're rebuilding that, but they've made a lot of progress on it. just since the last
It's not
inspection.
broken off because of the weight.
Yeah, I think, I don't remember exactly, but it was probably that it had a lot of honey in it, and the honey's very heavy, and this frame was fairly young and new, and I think it just fell out.
What do you do? What did you do? Like they use that broken part for food?
Yeah, I let them rob the honey out of it. Usually when that happens, I'll put the part that broke out in the empty space, and they'll take everything out of it and go put it in other cells.
So zero waste.
Yeah. And then I take the comb and go use it for
Wax?
melt it down for wax.
Do you see the queen here?
I see it.
You see
There's
it?
green paint.
You sure
Oh,
do.
yeah.
There's our queen. All right, so
Good eye.
I'm going to put her.
How did you paint the thing green?
I'll show you in just a minute. I'm going to put her over here because I do not want her to get lost. And now I can come back to this one that I
And-
marked.
Yeah, and
Here.
Oh, no wonder the bees were covering it up. Like I don't see it. All right. So we're going to put this one in one of these two.
okay. Let me help you open it.
Hand me the hive tool there. Yep.
There's something in here.
Just an empty frame. Now we're going to, let's see, I'm going to take one more to get some space out.
Okay.
I'll put that one back in after I get the bees in.
Yeah. So okay. And don't they need a queen there?
What?
Do they need a queen?
Well, I'm going to give them a queen cell probably on Sunday.
So if you by making a cell, you're telling them to make a new queen?
No, it will be one where a queen has already been laid. And I'm going to close this entrance so they can't escape until I get them back to the house.
Yeah. So now, these bees, are they agitated at the moment, you think?
A little bit.
Okay. Are they?
They now know that they're separated from their queen,
Uh-huh.
and that's going to make them anxious.
Uh-huh.
Most of those bees are going to be young bees. They're called nurse bees,
Uh-huh.
so they don't know where to go. And let's just put that.
So help me understand the queen part. How does the queen? How a new queen is
made?
Yeah, made
So
in this one.
if they found a very, very young larva or an egg in that frame, they will start feeding. They'll make it larger, and they'll start feeding extra. They call it royal jelly, and that better nutrition and the more space will let that one develop into a queen.
Oh, okay.
but
So
in-
queen is a worker bee who is well fed.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Uh-huh. So they make one bee queen whenever they need.
As long as there's available brood of the right age.
Oh, how do you find out if they have that?
You just learn to look, and you can tell how old they. Now this one is mostly nectar, so this is their food. Lots and lots of
So,
drones.
Do they say, for example, if one bee gets
I guess
crushed
they're all
in
eaten.
the frame, do they feel the other bees do anything when they watch?
Not usually. Now you see this little cap?
Yeah.
That is capped honey, and there's more over here. So that's honey that's been nectar that's been there long enough to get dried out, and they cap it to save it for later. So we're just going to leave them their food.
I mean to say, if there is one of them get hurt, do the other bees feel the pain or?
No, they don't feel the pain. There's one dragging out a body of one. They don't feel the pain, but the bee that gets hurt can release a chemical that alerts them that there's a problem. And when that happens, now that is actually a bee larva, an immature bee. Something was wrong with it. It was sick or something. So they took it out of its cell and carried it away. So what they'll do is they will, if there's an alarm, sometimes they'll come out ready to sting. But it's not like they feel the loss. They just are responding to the chemical sense.
Do they do any kind of celebration to this celebrate the life in like a funeral?
I don't think so. This is another one with lots of. Now,
They just move on.
I showed you some pollen. You see how this, the other pollen looks dry, and this looks wet. This is called bee bread.
I see.
They mix pollen with nectar, and it ferments, and that's a way of preserving it for later.
So many drones.
Yep. That's good because this colony is a really nice colony. You can see how well behaved they are, and that they have so many drones here means that if a queen in another colony needs to be mated, there are lots of drones in the area that come from this colony, and that means that the chances are that that queen that's getting mated will have a better chance to be mated to my gentle drones than to an Africanized set of drones.
I see. So there is
Yeah, that's okay. It's probably already dead. Let's try to prevent this one. Now the problem is I made this frame a little bit too wide. It's a really tight fit. Yeah, these.
Oh, so if you blow the air, do they just move away?
Sometimes. But they can also come up and try to sting. All right, now I needed to find one more frame with lots of brood. We'll leave this one here for them to keep working on it. This is going to be my other one. So now these bees that are in the cells, the brood that's capped, they'll be coming out of those cells in a few days. And the first thing they're ready to do is to be what we call nurse bees for the queens, for the eggs that the queen's going to be laying soon. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to give them a queen cell this weekend, and then I'll be going to Indonesia, and by the time I come back I should be able to tell if they are if the queens are laying properly. Lots of bees. No, they're really not. Now we're going to move this one. Let's make sure we can still find our queen. Hope she's still out here somewhere. She may have crawled off the frame. That will be okay. She'll be able to get back into the main part of the hive if she wants to. queen probably already went in there, which means I'll have to be kind of careful when I look at the second nucleus that I made to make sure she's not on that frame. All right, that's all we're doing. Do you have any other questions?
They're sitting on the skin.
What?
They're sitting on the skin.